Good morning. Today is March 22nd, right? And I want to talk about one of my first boyfriends today. So my mom doesn't know about this, so Mom, if you're watching, first of all, I told you not to watch my YouTube, so what are you doing here? And second of all, you don't know about this, so let's just why don't you go away, okay? Sounds good. Alright, so I'm gonna talk about, I'm just gonna call him Jay. It's kind of too close to his name for comfort, but it doesn't really matter to me because I don't care if I drag him under the bus right now, because that's how it felt like he treated me when I was 16. So my first serious boyfriend, not serious even, but my long term-ish, months to a year-ish kind of thing, he was in my life for that quite a long time. He's the definition of a fuckboy, you know? So he was the original fuckboy in my life, and I met him when I was 16 and he was 24, and he was 6'4", so I thought that was awesome because he was so tall. And what else? He had a business degree, and for me being in high school and not even graduated yet, I thought having a degree was the bee's knees, and I thought he was just he would be good at taking care of someone or something, I guess is what I thought. But that did not turn out to be true. So we hung out every weekend for a year, I'd say, ish, give or take, maybe, I don't know, a year and 6 months. And I don't think we ever said the words "I love you," which, thank God, in hindsight. These puppies are going nuts. As I was saying, these puppies were going too crazy, so I'm gonna just rewind a bit. So I was 16 years old, and this guy was 24. Stop it, stay. He had a brother, and his brother was more my age. I think his brother was 19, so he was, or 20, so he was just a couple years older than me. And my boyfriend, I'll just call him boyfriend for the sake of the story, but by the end of it you'll realize that he really was not a boyfriend. He was just really a fuckboy. So anyways, I would go to his house every weekend for a year. We talked to each other all the fucking time on text. We never talked on the phone really, because I'm not a phone talker myself personally. So he would take me to his mom's house and his dad's house that his parents were together, and he lived in the hood. He lived in Dover in Calgary, and I lived in Okotoks. So he would drive from the northeast of Calgary to pick me up in Okotoks and then bring me back to his place in the hood, which was an hour away, and then we would stay the night there and we would hang out. Honestly, our thing was watching the Game Show Network. We kind of joked that we were an old couple, because we would honestly just hang out at his house and watch Wheel of Fortune and stuff like that. Just the Game Show Network was our thing. And yeah, embarrassing in hindsight, honestly. He also took me to a rave one time when I was underage. So I remember going to a ghetto pub or bar or rave thing in the hood. He said it was a rave, but it was more just a nightclub thing, but it was in the hood. So the lights sucked and the venue sucked. And hilariously and scarily enough, the following weekend at the same club that I snuck into at the age of 16 was shot up the next weekend. I remember seeing that on the news. I can't remember the name of the club, honestly, because this was a long time ago. But anyways, he took me to this rave, and I remember when he picked me up, I had this little jean miniskirt, and that's what I thought I was going to wear to the rave. And he was like, "That's what you think you're going to wear?" And I'm like, what's wrong with it? What the fuck? And he's like, "Well, we have to go shopping for you, and you have to look a bit older because you are 16, whatever, blah, blah, blah." So we went to the mall, and he bought me a different miniskirt because I was so in at the time. I graduated in 2012, so this is probably around 2010, 2011, 2010 probably. So he bought me a miniskirt and a tank top, I think, or a t-shirt or something, and a little jacket maybe, I can't remember. And we went to the club, and I got in and everything because his buddy was the bouncer, taking IDs, so that was really easy. But yeah, so he would take me to his mom's house every weekend, And I honestly thought I was like the hottest shit, obviously. Like, I was 16 dating someone that was in their 20s, mid 20s. And I was like, damn, I have like scored. I have found this man who has finished college. He had his business degree. And what did he do for a living? I think that was kind of like the problem. He didn't really have a good job, good enough job. He had like, he coached basketball, sorry. And when he coached basketball, he actually took me a lot of the time to, what was it called? The Trico Center? I don't know what it's actually called. So he would take me to like watch the games that he was refereeing or coaching. He would take me to watch like these games where he would coach, and I honestly knew some of his teammates, and like his brother was there all the time too. Sonny, come on. So we like hung out every fucking weekend, and I liked it a lot. It was awesome. I enjoyed myself. I would tell my mom, so Mom, if you're listening, please fuck off. I'm not even kidding, like fuck off. This is a channel for myself and journaling, and I want to freely talk about my teenage days. So if any kind of family could just fuck off right now, that'd be awesome. So anyways, I would tell my mom that I was going to a friend's house, and I was usually like getting picked up and dropped off at my neighbor's house, which was like my best friend at the time. So I would like just walk over there, and he would pick me up there after like an hour drive from the northeast of Calgary to way south of the city, to Okotoks to pick me up. Outside of Okotoks, actually. I lived on an acreage. So then, after like a year went by of this, like same routine kind of thing. Like we didn't go out that often, but we sometimes did. Didn't go to restaurants that often. Now that I think back, I think that he was kind of poor. Like he lived in the hood, and he was only coaching, so I don't know how he was really making money. But so let's jump over to the end of this story, I guess. Jay, he is such a dick. The reason I say that is because it all ended because you'd think it would be because like my mom found out and I'm underage and stuff, and he's like older, like in his 20s, and I'm like 16. But no, that's not what happened at all. She still has no idea. Unless she watches this video, please fuck off and don't watch this if that's the case. But the way it ended is, I honestly don't know if it was Facebook or just texts from his fiance. He had a fiance. They had a puppy together, she said. It was like a black little lab or something like that. Yeah, I can't believe that's how it ended, really, honestly. Like, I honestly have blocked out of my head most of, like, how that fell apart, really. But I definitely remember her telling me, she's like, who are you? And I'm like, Jay. Whoops. Who are you in relation to Jay? And I was like, I'm Jay's girlfriend. What do you mean? And she was like, well, no, because I'm Jay's fiance, and we live together, and we have a dog together. And like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, I'm like not even 18, and this guy has been picking me up for like a year straight every weekend. So I don't know where you've been, but he takes me back to his like mom's house every weekend. And it was even during the week too. Like, he would pick me up, and I would watch his coaching like on weekdays and stuff. So like, he would take hours of his time just to like pick me up and include me in his life, which is just so gross. Like, thinking back, I actually can't believe it. And I probably should have seen like the red flags and warning signs and stuff like that, like not talking on the phone. And I don't know, the one thing that's in my favor though, like, why the fuck was his parents allowing this to happen? Like, I knew his parents. Like, he would borrow his dad's truck sometimes because his car wasn't always working, whatever. Or I think it was a car, but his dad had a truck. And I just weirdly remember one time we were driving I think his dad worked at the paper mill, which I think was in the Northeast as well. So I think we were driving him to work one time so that he would drop me off and then be able to give the truck back or whatever. And I have a weird memory of that. Yeah, his parents were cool, and like, they knew me. So I think that was like a really weird part of it. And his brother knew me. So his brother just knew that he had a girlfriend, and like, they just acted differently around each of us, I guess. That's so fucked up in my head. So obviously he lived with like his fiance, but then would bring me home to his parents' house like every weekend, which is so weird in my head. I don't know. Maybe he was telling her that he was working. I don't know. I don't like to think about it because I was obviously played as fuck in like the most pivotal years of like your teenage years when you're trying to like fall in love and stuff. And it's sad because like my husband is like a relationship man, and even when he was like 16 he was in a really long-term relationship with this girl, so he's just had like a really wholesome experience with like love and relationships and stuff. And this is how my love life began. I was like this fucking side hoe and I had no idea, and I thought I was so cool for being with this older man, but he was just obviously not cooler. And yeah, that's pretty much all about this story. I just thought that was crazy when she finally like got in touch with me and she was like, who are you? And I'm like, who are you? What do you mean? Like, I'm with him. Who the fuck do you think you are? And she's like, we're like serious. And I'm like, girl, you've been played. I've been played. Oh my god. And yeah, so it all fell apart and stuff. I think I saw him once or twice after I found out, and he came to Okotoks. I remember we met in a parking lot or something. I think once, I don't think twice. But I remember he had his dog, I think actually twice. Once with his dog, once without. And I just like, I was really mad at him and we talked about it and stuff. Because I was like 16 and like, how do you do that to like someone that's 16? I'm 28 now, and I thought about that like 4 years ago when I was 24. I was like, how could anyone date someone that's under 18? That's so fucked up and gross. I can't believe that happened. And I can't believe I was on the receiving end of that bullshit. So yeah, that's how my love life began, and that's all I'm going to talk about now. These dogs are going insane, so I'm going to take them outside. But I hope you enjoyed that story. I will tell you more stories eventually. I wish I had more to tell you about the end of it, but it kind of hurt, so I think that's why my brain doesn't remember a lot of stuff. So anyways, take care, have a great day, spread kindness, and don't date someone that's 8 years younger than you when you're in your 20s, because that's really fucking gross, in my opinion. And a lot of people's opinions, so. And be careful. When you're a girl out there, like, watch yourself. Like, no one's gonna watch out for you, so that's my advice. Like, I obviously ignored red flags and signs and stuff, and I don't know, at least I didn't get like super burned. I just got played as fuck. So anyways, have a great day. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.